Now on YouTube, it's time for some alternative commentary action with the Commentary Hub.
There's headed by Marina, and it's 2-1 to Arsenal.
Look at that pass! Goal for Manchester City!
Takes this corner, whips it in, it's headed and it's a goal, and it's that man, Gabriel.
Liverpool have equalised. Lovely improvisational touch from Curtis Jones.
Oh, what a goal! Wow, take it out!
Good evening from Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. My name is Alex Peters. You are listening to the Commentary Hub live. Alongside me today is Nicholas Jones, whose sports we'll come to in a moment. But in terms of Morocco versus France, we have been here before. Not literally, though actually, yes. Both of these teams have played and won at this exact ground in this tournament. But spiritually, France, Morocco, a World Cup knockout game 23 months ago in Qatar. France beat Morocco 2-0 in the semi-final. Theo Hernandez in the 5th minute, Kolo Muani late on. Morocco went home having changed the history of African football. They had reached the last four. Nobody had done that before. Now they are back in the quarterfinal, back against France, and this time they arrive as the first African nation to reach 2 consecutive World Cup quarterfinals. France have been perfect in 6 games with Mbappe on 7 goals. They are the favourites. They are always the favourites, but history does not always repeat. In Foxborough tonight, Morocco will attempt to change the ending. But before we get into it, let's go through the lineups for today's games. So, with the French side, we have Mike Maignan. He has started in every game so far this tournament. The back line consists of Jules Koundé, Deo Upamecano, William Saliba, and Luca Digne, who is in place of Theo Hernandez, who, of course, scored in that fixture last time out against Morocco. In the midfield, there is another absentee with Tchouameni. He does not make the side. Instead, Adrien Rabiot and Kone are in the midfield. But the fantastic four for France today is Ousmane Dembele, Michael Olise, Desiree Doué, and of course the captain Kylian Mbappe, who sits on 7 goals so far this tournament, 19 World Cup goals in 19 World Cup games. He is only 1 behind Lionel Messi. As for Morocco, you have Bono in goal, who had that unbelievable penalty save in the shootout. Achraf Hakimi, the captain, of course, arguably the best right back in world football. Him versus Mbappe is going to be the duel to watch today. The centre-back partnership of Issa Diop and Noussair Mazraoui of Manchester United may look suspect, as Mazraoui does play out on the wide normally, out in full-back. However, Salah Adini is there today in left-back for Morocco. El Al-Yanoui is partnered alongside Ayab Bouadi, who's having a standout tournament, showing such great composure at such a young age for the midfielder. Chesminde Taoubi, Azdan Unani, who of course got that brace against Canada in the last round. El Khanous, they are all behind their striker, Brahim Diaz. He will be looking to make an impact today in this game against France. So if we run through the officials quickly. Our referee for today is Facundo Tello's assistant referees are Juan Pablo Balati and Gabriel Sade. The 4th official is Dario Herrera. Reserve AR, of course, is Christian Navarro. The video assistant referee for today is Hernan Mastrado, of course, Argentinian descent, with Leon Gonzalez and Tatiana Guzman also on the assistant referee. So a predominantly Argentine mix-up for this game, and that was the matchup in the 2022 World Cup final. So we are just moments away from kickoff here. Nicholas, it is an honor to be commentating on this game alongside you today. How do you see this quarterfinal playing out?
Well, Alex, like you say, France are certainly the favourites, but Morocco just keep on surprising. France have the most fearsome attack in the tournament. 14 goals scored across 5 consecutive wins, and Morocco they maintain their trademark unbeaten mentality, and they also in the round of 30 and in the round of 16 match against Canada, they put on a defensive masterclass and clinical attacking display. So Morocco, I'd have to say they've obviously learnt their lessons. To say they are definitely not a side to be sneezed at.
They're definitely not, Nicholas. They, of course, are the first African nation to reach consecutive quarterfinals in a tournament which has seen African nations shine. 9 of the 10 African nations qualified out of the group stage. And just in terms of Morocco, the achievement of reaching consecutive World Cup quarterfinals, 2022 semi-finalists against France, is extraordinary. You know, they beat the Netherlands on penalties in the round of 32 with Bono saving that crucial spot kick. They dismantled Canada, like you say, 3-0 in the end after being resolute defensively. Unani's brace and Rahimi's late strike in that game. But under Mohamed Ouabi, Morocco have maintained the organisation and resilience that defined the previous regime in Qatar, while adding more technical quality in the final third through Brahim Diaz, El Khanous, and of course Sayabari, who is not in the squad today. How big a miss do you think he will be for Morocco, Nicholas?
Saibari, I'm sure will be a crucial miss for Morocco. He was sent out with a hamstring injury. They are hoping that should Morocco go through, he should make the semi-finals. But for the PSV man, tonight's game has come too soon for him, unfortunately.
It's a real shame, of course, getting that goal against Scotland after 70 seconds, the quickest goal at this tournament so far. But just to go back to France, obviously 6 games, 6 wins, 14 goals, only 3 conceded. They are the only team at the World Cup with a perfect record so far. Mbappe, 7 goals. Dembele has 4, including that hat-trick against Norway, while Elise sits on 4 assists. And yet, France have played Paraguay and they struggled. They played Norway, who were heavily rotated. Their press was disrupted by Paraguay's compactness, and their forward runs occasionally became anonymous, whereas they're playing against Morocco, who are in this 4-2-3-1 low block today, and it's going to be a different proposition to anything France have faced so far in this tournament. So, Nicholas, I beg a question. Do you think that the most feared attack in world football can unlock the Atlas Lions today?
I think they could. I mean, they've got the likes of. I think they could, like you say, the front four of Dembele, Elise, Doué, and Mbappe. I think Mbappe is although looking at the lineups, Michael Elise is 1 card away from suspension, so he really has to watch himself. But apart from that, France's disciplinary record has been good.
It has. And of course, Kone coming into the team in the absence of Tchouaméni, but he sits on that yellow card. In amongst the myriad of storylines at this tournament, it is Didier Deschamps in his final World Cup as France manager. He was absent for the Norway game due to the bereavement of his mother, but he has returned and he has led France to the final in 2018 and of course in 2022. A 3rd consecutive World Cup final would be unprecedented for any European nation. For Deschamps, it would be the crowning achievement of one of the great managerial and footballing careers. He won the World Cup as a player. He won the World Cup as manager in 2018, runner-up in 2022. In 2026, from the bench in Foxborough, he has 2 wins from this final again. The Atlas Lions stand in his way. The first time France won. This time, Morocco will believe that the story can end differently. We are moments away from kickoff here on the Commentary Hub. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Please like the video. It helps us out massively. And me and Nicholas can't wait to bring this game to you today. Just a quick mention of the impact of the France absentees today. Do you feel like that French midfield could be overrun by Morocco as Tchouameni is no longer in the squad, Nick.
Without Tchouameni, the midfield could be exposed, but Rabiot and Kone are decent players themselves, so I'm sure they'll be more than willing to take up the slack.
Me too, of course. Rabiot, he has started 5 of the 6 games, and the game has started here in Foxborough. Morocco going with the all too familiar PSG kickoff, as it has been dubbed, and it is a French throw-in, Luca Digne on this left-hand side, and it's had some great games in this stadium so far in this tournament, the home of the New England Patriots, of course, as France bring the ball outright on the right-hand side here with Michael Elise as the ball comes back to Dale Upamecano. So one of the battles I wanted to highlight today, Nick, was, of course, Mbappe versus Hakimi. They may not see each other on the field so much due to Mbappe playing down the middle and, of course, Hakimi on the right-hand side. But these two used to play at PSG together. They train together. They know each other. How big do you think this battle could be today?
It could be very big between these two. Because, like you say, they know each other inside out. They'll know what the other is thinking. If he loves, obviously, Hakimi loves to fly forward to trigger Moroccan transitions. But if he does so, then that would leave space for Mbappe to exploit. And whichever player forces the other to defend first will likely dictate the outcome of the match.
Definitely so, of course, and there's not many footballers who are faster than Kylian Mbappe as he looks to add to his incredible record of 19 World Cup goals in 19 World Cup games. The ball with France now. Kone was just fouled a minute ago as they are looking to make inroads. The ball with the Moroccan half, but Morocco have dispossessed them here as it comes out to Brahim Diaz on the right-hand side, looking to attack the French half. He's got the ball past Luca Digne. It's a lovely back heel now. Morocco looking to fashion their first opportunity at the half, but Bouhaddi plays the ball back to Hakimi, and Hakimi back to Issa Diop. And it's an unusual centre-back pairing today, Nick. It's Issa Diop, who's, of course, tall. He's got that height, physicality. He's got that header in the last game, and he's partnered by the Manchester United fullback, Moussa Mazraoui. How do you see those two defending today?
Well, they know each other. Well, obviously, they know each other very well from their time in England. Most of the time they're rivals. Now they're teammates. So I think they'll just have to learn from each other. Sort of how one plays and how the other one does. So I think they could do well as a duo if they are to shut any French attacks down.
True, of course. They have made do, this Moroccan side, so far in the World Cup. They've moved Brahim Diaz up front in absence of Saibari as they have possession of the ball back with France now. Luca Digne looking to make a run, but the ball with Kylian Mbappe, of course, been one of the main talking points throughout this World Cup for performances on and off the pitch. But France now with the ball with Dembele on this right-hand side. Elise looking to overlap. The ball comes back out now. Kone recycles the play. France being patient in their build-up. As Desiree Doué now looks to beat Hakimi. Both for PSG, of course. And Kylian Mbappe from range. Looking to see if he's won a corner. Might be a goal kick for Bono, but first attack there for France, Nick.
Yes, that certainly was a trademark Kylian Mbappe strike. We know how good he is. We know how good he is to strike from a fair amount of distance. But Bono read the situation very well.
He did, and he read the situation well again. Another unbelievable save as the ball came in. A close header, I believe, from Dembele, and it was saved by Bono. And France with 2 opportunities here in the first 4 minutes. Ball now with Elise on this right-hand side, and a brilliant tournament that he's having as he looks to take on Salah El Nina. The ball goes out for a throw-in here. France up the pitch. It was Upamecano with the header and straight at the keeper, unfortunately. But Bono, he does well to react in time, Nick.
Yes, he certainly does. He obviously showed us what skills he possesses during the World Cup in Qatar, and it's fair to say he's lost none of his touch.
He certainly hasn't. He showed that he still has that ability in the recent penalty shootout, but he was that hero in Qatar 2022. 3 saves in that penalty shootout against Spain. Plays his football out in Saudi Arabia, but he's considered one of the world's best goalkeepers for this Morocco side, who have gone strength to strength in recent years. Arguably the greatest African side that we have ever seen. The first African side to reach consecutive quarterfinals, and they'll be looking for revenge today after losing that last quarterfinal to France 2-0. They're under a new manager, of course, but nevertheless, their performances at this World Cup have been scintillating, and they'll be looking to cause more damage here as the ball goes up long from Morocco, but it's returned by France. It's a bit of pinball here, but it's back to the keeper, Bono, safely now. And to think Morocco, you mentioned the unbeaten record beforehand, Nick, they've gone strength to strength in this tournament. They look disciplined, they look focused, they don't really ever look like that they're going to concede. That game against Brazil in the opening match of their tournament, of course, they drew 1-0, but since then, they've been flawless, haven't they, Nick?
If anything, they've improved since the last World Cup, and obviously, as some people know, they went on to win the Africa Cup of Nations, and they just keep getting better and better.
They definitely do, as here they are now, looking to better the scoreline for themselves as it's 0-0 here, 6 minutes gone. Foxborough, Massachusetts, you are listening to us live on the Commentary Hub. My name is Alex Pieces. Alongside me today is Nicholas Jones. It's a pleasure to be bringing this game live to you as 7 minutes on the clock and the ball. Back with Morocco, Mazraoui. It's in no rush, the opening stages here, and it's been a running theme throughout the knockout games so far. You've seen these slow starts, both teams not really wanting to give anything up too early, not wanting to take a risk until later on in the game, where we've seen an absolute flurry of goals and some great moments. You think of Mexico, England, you think of Argentina, of course, in that game against Egypt, where on the 75th minute it looked like they were about to go out. So in terms of Argentina, Messi got his 20th goal in that game, Nick. However, Kylian Mbappe arguably has 2 more World Cups left in him, and he's sitting just 1 behind him. Do you think he has a case to go down as the greatest World Cup player of all time?
Well, he could well do, because Lionel Messi hasn't got that much left in his playing career. I mean, with Messi, it's like, you know, he's got nothing left. I mean, it's like with Messi. No disrespect to the man, but it's like he's got nothing left to prove. Whereas Mbappe, I feel he can. Whereas with Mbappe, I feel he can go on a bit longer.
Definitely so. And here is Desiree Doué looking to make an impact, but Morocco back in possession now, and that could be a foul from Doué. And it is Brahim Diaz been brought down in his own half, and Morocco now have a chance just to keep the ball for a moment, as we'll see in the replay on the ref view. It's, yeah, Doué just leans in, catches him, and the ball now back with Morocco, who are being patient. They're not rushing anything. They know how it felt in that last game against France back in 2022, when conceding after 5 minutes and their entire game plan was flipped on its head. And then Randall Koulibaly getting that goal late on, but Hakimi now looking to pick up a loose ball as it goes out for a France goal kick, and William Saliba throws the ball back. And just a word on William Saliba, if you can, Nick. He's been one of the shining defenders at this tournament. France, they've only conceded 3 goals. He's only missed the Norway game, but in every game, it's been difficult to beat.
Oh, he has definitely. I mean, the Arsenal man, like you may have mentioned, he has this imposing side. He reads the game very well, and he's extremely cool under pressure. And he has also he works really well in his partnership with Upamecano.
He certainly does, alongside the Bayern Munich man, who, for all his brilliance, he's had a couple errors in the Champions League, which maybe stick with him more than some of his achievements so far. But for a World Cup win, we put that all in vain, as Bouhaddi on the ball now, the teenager. He's had a great tournament so far for Morocco, and it's been one thing about this Moroccan side. They've had the ability to bring through these young stars, and seeing his composure in the centre of the pitch, it's something to marvel at. As is Diop's on the ball now, it's back to Bono, as Kylian Mbappe tries to lead the press in the front. Bouhaddi now with the ball back to Diop. And just more patient build up here. It's been a slow start to this game. However, if this World Cup is anything to go by, I wouldn't expect that to stay the same, Nick.
No, you most certainly wouldn't. And going back to what you said about Morocco going through their youth setup, and it's great that they can bring up so many of their young players into the team. I believe some of them actually won the under-20 World Cup not too long ago.
But they did. They've had great success in many tournaments. Morocco, as Nick mentioned, they controversially won the AFCON in whichever way you wanted to see it, but they were awarded that months later after the match had finished, as France now on the ball. Jules Koundé finds Michael Olise, looking to create, looking to bring the ball forward for the French. And just nothing too much yet. No through balls or no risky passes. They're just playing it between themselves here now, as Koundé out wide to Dembele. And the fluidity of the French attack, the fantastic ball, as they have been dubbed, they interchange with one another so effortlessly, and you can find them all across that front line, popping up in different positions. And here they are now as the ball comes out wide, but it's been intercepted by Morocco as they look for a chance to counter now. And here's Brahim Diaz running with the ball. He has Ashraf Hakimi to his side, and it's Koundé makes the Kone makes the challenge, and the ball back in French possession now as they look to stage their own counter. Brahim Diaz still down on the floor, but Dembele with the ball in the Moroccan half, just looking for that opportunity, and could have been a chance, but Dembele has found Mbappe now, as it's a Diop to beat. Step over. Oh, and he's just unable to find Kone, as the ball still with the French here, looking to recycle it. Mbappe makes himself available once again, out to Olise, if anyone's going to create for the French. As the ball now down to Rabiot. It's been switched out onto this left-hand side. Desiree Doué, the French, still putting the pressure on, but Morocco, they're defending well. Luca Digne looking to get the ball in. Gets the ball in the box, but it's cleared by the Moroccan defender as it comes back out to Upamecano, and the French look to stage another attack, but sustained pressure in the Moroccan half here. Olise has found Kone. And here's Rabiot. And France just slowing the play down once again, and surely winning a foul that they have, Michael Olise. And France have looked the better of the two sides so far, Nick.
So far, so good for them. But so far, so good for them. And yes, they have created those two chances early on. But they're just going to keep carrying on. If anything, they're being very resolute throughout this game.
They certainly are, and after those games, or the game against Paraguay, sorry, is the ball back in play here now with Olise, the free kick taken. Out to Luca Digne. Picks over Teo Hernandez today. He finds Desiree Doué, who also picked over Bradley Barcola. As the ball might fall to Kylian Mbappe here now, but Morocco have it, and they have an opportunity to counter. Back to Bono. Oh, and it's a risky pass from the goalkeeper. Dembele was hunting him down, nearly nicked the ball off him there. But now it's in possession with Bouhaddi as he plays out wide to Hakimi. Hakimi just bringing the ball forward. Raheem Diaz, who's moved out onto this right-hand side. He started up front from kickoff, and there's a possible foul there, but the ball's still in play. And the referee, I think, has brought it back here. I believe that was a foul on Uwani, who he got that brace against Canada, Nick. And as you mentioned before, they put on a defensive masterclass. They nullified the Canadian attack, but they absolutely dismantled them in the last 20 minutes.
Yes, they certainly did, and Unai was certainly essential to that.
Certainly was a brace in that game against Canada. Rahimi getting the third late on as Achraf Hakimi steps over the ball here. On the right-hand side, ball whipped in from Morocco. It's a looping ball, and it loops all the way over and out for a goal kick, and he won't be so happy with that. But the Moroccan manager today, Mohamed Ouabi, as we mentioned, came in after their 2022 campaign in Morocco. I believe it's a run of at least 19 unbeaten games recently, and it'll take a lot for this French team to overcome them, but they've arguably been the best side at this World Cup, the most consistent side, as we mentioned, 6 games, 6 wins. Mbappe right up there in the race for the Golden Boot, as Elise now tries to win the ball back. Comes out to Luca Digne, and he finds Kylian Mbappe. Ball roll in the middle of the park, faces up against Bouadi. And it's youth versus phenomenon, but Mbappe running down the line, attempts to win a throw in, and it's Morocco's throw, so ball back with Moroccan possession now. Kylian Mbappe protests, and that won't be the first time he's had to protest this week, Nick. Of course, he has spoken out against the comments from Senator Celeste Amarilla, and personally, I think there's no place for that, especially at the World Cup, which is supposed to bring the world together and not separate them further apart, Nick.
Yes, absolutely. Senator Amarilla wasn't very respectful to Mbappe, and I'd have to say Mbappe was right to call him out without being too political.
I think you're perfectly right, Nick. I think he addressed it in a way which is symbolic of Kylian Mbappe at his age now. You know, he's evolved into this leader for France. He's the captain of the team. Of course, there's the dictator comparisons online, but that's all in jest, and I think it just documents how important he has become to this French team. 19 goals in 19 World Cup games. I'll keep saying it until I believe it, as an opportunity goes wide for France now. Dembele with a header that never looked like it was threatening Bono's goal, but he's not the only one, of course. He's not yet to win the Ballon d'Or, but his French compatriot Ousmane Dembele has, and he currently sits on 4 goals at this tournament and 7 goals and assists. He got that hat-trick against Norway. And what can you say about Ousmane Dembele at this World Cup so far, Nick?
Quite a lot, really. Yeah, I mean Dembele. He's definitely been one of the key players for. He's definitely been one of the key players for France. Very unpredictable, and he has elite, and he's definitely got elite acceleration and world-class 1v1 trickery.
Certainly does. He bedazzles defenders on many occasions. He's not played so much in the league, but when called upon on the world stage, he has certainly performed. As we are approaching 20 minutes here, France 0, Morocco 0. You are listening to us live on the Commentary Hub. My name is Alex Peters. Alongside me is Nicholas Jones. Please subscribe. Please like if you haven't already. Helps out the channel massively as France look to stage another attack here. Ball falls back to Upamecano. And soon we will take a moment to look through the comments once the hydration break soon approaching. We'll give us a few minutes to read through everybody's thoughts on the game so far. And I don't know about you, Nick, but as much as I don't want the World Cup to be over, I am looking to say farewell to the hydration breaks.
So am I, Alex. So am I. At least we won't have any. At least we won't have anything like that. Not just in England, but also in Europe, which we're hoping to cover a lot of matches there, particularly the Champions League.
Definitely so. And there's been, of course, a few innovations, a few rule changes at this World Cup. Seen some of them in play. Most controversially, the cover in the mouth when speaking to an opponent. But the ball back in play now here for France as the corner comes in, but the header goes over. And the corners, of course, that's another rule that's been introduced to 5 seconds, and seen it happen a few times, happen in the Mexico-England game. And the ball back here now. Morocco under pressure again from France as they give the ball away. Rabiot now picks up the ball. And Elise now, the ball about 25 yards out from goal. As Desiree Doué looks to make inroads. 2 men on him, Bouhaddi and Achraf Hakimi. As ball's recycled back again, but some nervy play from Morocco so far, Nick.
Well, yes. Well, yes. They might have been nervy, but they have at least remained resilient against France, and they've lasted longer. Keeping the score down than they did in 2022. If you ask me, they're like a recently promoted championship club facing one of the greats in the Premier League.
Very true. As you mentioned, they've improved on their last performance against France in the World Cup. They were 1 behind after 5 minutes. And as we soon approach the hydration break here, Bono looking to take the goal kick. And this should be the last play for the first break of the game. The first 20 minutes have not been that captivating, truth be told, but as mentioned, Morocco have defended resolutely, but Bono has looked a little bit uncertain, and that may just be because of the French press. They've really got at Morocco so far in this game, and a lot of the play has been spent in the Moroccan half, but looks like it's a throw in here from Morocco now. Not bringing it over. Just know that the looming hydration break is coming at any moment, so the ball back in play here now, though. Elise looking to pick the ball up the line for France. A nice 1-2 with Kylian Mbappe. The ball goes out wide to Dembele. Salah can get there, but Dembele now step over, and it's brilliant defending by Salah Adini. Morocco now look to stage their own attack. Ball goes long. It's a brilliant run here. Talbi looking to take on Upamecano, pokes it through his legs, but no one there, unfortunately. El Khanous was just arriving late. And Elise now. And the game has an end-to-end feel here. As Mbappe is brought down, but no foul. And the ball back again with Morocco as they storm in to the French half. The Atlas Lions here looking for their first opportunity. Brahim Diaz finds Hakimi. Ball on the right-hand side now. Hakimi. And he wins a corner here for Morocco. Their first of the game. And Mbappe arguing, remonstrating with the referee. It looks like Hakimi did win the ball there. Of the Moroccan defender, but the corner's been taken here. Brahim Diaz. It's cleared by the French. Michael Elise now looking to bring the ball down. And Bouhaddi, the young teenager, battling in there. No foul given. He's won the ball. Brahim Diaz now on this right-hand side for Morocco. El Khanous. Back to Bouhaddi. Bouhaddi and Salah Adini just playing it between themselves. And the ball now back to El Nawi. Bouhaddi. Hakimi plays it out wide on this right-hand side. Brahim Diaz now. Bouhaddi. Brahim. It's a lovely chip ball into Bouhaddi's path. It's cleared by Saliba. as mentioned before, not a lot's got past him. And Elise now looking to start a counter for the French. And he has Mbappe, who's made a run on the left-hand side. It's a step over. It could be a penalty. It is a penalty. And there is the first opportunity in this game for France. And it's brilliant work by Kylian Mbappe and Mazraoui, who made the challenge. He made the error. Well, Achraf Hakimi is down on the floor as well. And this could be a big opportunity for France, Nick.
It certainly could. I'll need to look at this fully. But from what I was able to get, that did seem it did seem a bit clumsy from what I was looking at. Yes, very clumsy. Yes, I'd have to say very clumsy from Mazraoui. I don't think he meant to take him down on purpose.
No, it's just the speed of Kylian Mbappe. You could see as soon as Mazraoui flew in and wasn't getting to the ball, that Mbappe was going to go down under the challenge. And it was an issue that we highlighted at the start of the game, Nick, that possible issue of playing a fullback at centre-back. And for all of Mazraoui's brilliance, it looks like his flaws have come to light here as Kylian Mbappe picks up the ball. He stares down the keeper. We're just waiting for the penalty box to clear here. But there is a VAR check going on. I would be very surprised if it was a decision that they were looking to overturn, as Mazraoui just catches Mbappe. It's a brilliant step over. He just pushes the ball out onto the left-hand side, looking to drill the ball across goal. But before he even gets a chance to do that, he is fouled and brought down. So a big moment, Kylian Mbappe, to tie Messi at this tournament. Tie Messi for the all-time World Cup goals up against Bono, who has done heroics in penalties in this tournament, as the referee is clearing the box once again. He's reminding the players of encroachment. And Kylian Mbappe now, his hands on his hips, looking to put France 1-0 up here. And he was made to wait against Paraguay. He's being made to wait here. Didier Deschamps looks on. Bono with his hands in the air. We're not too sure what's happening here, as the referee still asking for players to go. I'm not sure if the VAR check is still ongoing, but Kylian Mbappe is standing over the ball. Some bewilderment here, and the check is over. That is confirmed. So, but Kylian Mbappe has walked backwards and forwards from this ball about 5 times now. So please stay with us as we wait for this penalty to be taken. Kylian Mbappe stutters in his run-up, and it's saved! It's saved by Bono! His heroics continue. He bedazzles the French forward, dives to his left-hand side, and calmly collects the ball. It's a poor penalty in truth, Nick.
Well, we have been saying over the channel that stuttering before a penalty isn't the way to go, and it kind of showed.
Certainly did. He is not the first player to miss with a stutter penalty at this tournament, but Kylian Mbappe, who has looked like he can't miss this tournament, has done the unthinkable. It was a poor penalty, but Bono did well to get down to his side, and he always backed himself in that situation. Bono, he backed himself in the shootout in this tournament. He backed himself against Spain, and he backed himself against Kylian Mbappe there, who, as we mentioned, there was a lot of pausing and postponement before the penalty was taken. That Kylian Mbappe will have this hydration break to reflect on what was a massive opportunity for France. And that's quite a shock, Nick. I didn't expect him to miss that one.
No, neither did I. And Mbappe will be momentarily frustrated, but I'm sure he will have the hydration break to collect his thoughts and go again, because he is one of the most persistent players that we have seen in recent years.
It certainly is. If there's any player who this is going to drive on more to go and get another goal, it is certainly Kylian Mbappe, who had that opportunity to match Messi, not only at this tournament, but all-time World Cup goals. And he's still arguing with the referee here, and I guess I can understand, as the delays to his penalty seemed bewildering. They didn't make too much sense. It certainly was a penalty. I'm not too sure what they were looking at. There was potentially a foul on Hakimi beforehand, but the ball looks to have been won quite clearly, and Kylian Mbappe is just too fast, too quick for Mazraoui. And let me just remind you of the games that we have coming up live on the commentary hub. We have Norway versus England. That, of course, will be Saturday at 10 p.m. Make sure you have subscribed to the channel so you don't miss that, and you can join us on Saturday for the game. So, 30 minutes gone. What's your analysis so far, Nick? How do you think the game has gone for the French?
France, you'd expect to be ahead so early on, but they have been frustrated by Morocco. They may have played better football than the Atlas Lions, but I'll say it again with Morocco, they're like a recently promoted championship side, or you could say one of the sides that has flown through the lower EFL divisions, right up to the top flight, and they're certainly giving France a run for their money.
They certainly are so far, and they will be buoyed by that penalty save from Bono, who has came up so often for them at this tournament. He's stood up and been accounted for when needed, and that view is echoed by Mike, who is in the chat for us. He's commented that was a dreadful penalty. It was more of a pass back than a penalty. There was no power behind it. And Mike, it's great to have you here. Thanks for commenting. And the ball is back in play now as the hydration break is over. 32 minutes on the clock. It is France 0, Morocco 0. Kylian Mbappe with a missed penalty, but France looking to get the first goal of this game as the ball's on the outside of the box now. Kone has found Dembele, twists, turns, shoots wide. It was a good effort by the Frenchman. Did well to fashion the opportunity for himself. But Bono, he didn't even move in the end as the ball goes agonizingly wide for Ousmane Dembele there. Waiting for the game to be restarted with goal kick from Bono as it goes long. It's headed back by Digne, and it's some lovely play by Desiree Doué on this left-hand side. Just puts it through the legs of Bouhaddi. And there's no foul on Doué there, as Morocco now have the ball. And it goes out of play, and it's a poor pass in the end from El Khanous. But France looking to get the play restarted quickly now. Here's Elise looking to charge through. Is he brought down? No, the referee lets the play continue. And he's letting a lot go so far, this ref. And Bouhaddi now looking to bring the ball forward. This is the Diop, and just the Moroccans looking to have some sustained pressure now, as France have been relentless in their pressing so far. They've really gone at this low block of Morocco. But Morocco went on the ball. They've been patient. They've had a couple opportunities to counter-attack. Hakimi did well to get down the right-hand side, but they've not had so much of an opportunity as Kylian Mbappe, who missed that penalty in the 29th minute. It was a poor penalty. Weak down to the side of Bono, who did well to save it as the ball still with Morocco here, as in possession with El Nawi. There's 34 minutes on the clock here, and I just touch on the importance of the captain Hakimi, Nick, and just how big a role he plays in this Moroccan side. He's now obviously a back-to-back UCL winner, but to be captain of the side and do what this side have done, nothing that no other African nation has ever achieved. He's arguably one of the greatest African players we've seen.
Oh yes, definitely. He's certainly got lightning pace, and his set piece, and he's also great with set piece delivery.
He certainly is. He has that ability to just fly down that right-hand side as France look to keep the pressure on here. Here's Bouadi. Tries a bit of skill, but he's been caught out. Desiree Doué now. Kylian Mbappe in possession. Saved by Bono. Well, Desiree Doué's shot is just down to his side. And it's careless by the teenager Bouadi in the middle of the park. He just tries to roll Desiree Doué. And Desiree Doué nicks it. And it's a poor effort in the end. Didier Deschamps frustrated on the sideline, but it's a corner now for France. And they'll be looking to capitalise on this moment. And Bono's having an outstanding game so far. Elise standing over the corner 10 minutes before half-time. And then it looks like there's a dispute about the placement of the ball as he goes to move it back where it should be. And Saliba, Rabiot and Upamecano wait in the middle as Elise brings the ball in. It finds them, but it also finds the hands of Bono. Koundé now looking to get back in position as Morocco once again looking to stage a counter-attack. Here come Morocco. Ball in the centre of the park, but physical challenge once again for the French, and Koné's down injured. And a through ball just passes Kylian Mbappe, and it's back to Bono. And once again, the referee, he's not looking to blow up. He's not looking to give easy fouls here. He's letting the game flow, and we're having a real battle here, Nick.
Yes, it certainly is a real battle, and you'd have to say, Alex, that the refereeing for this World Cup has to be called into question. Some of them just let play flow on quite easily. Others have been too hard a taskmaster.
Very much so. Well, you look at the micro incidents, of course, in the games where so many fouls and so many bookings have not been administered. But then you look at the macro aspect of it. You look at the political interference from Donald Trump overturning that Balogun red card, and whether or not you feel if it was a red card or not, to have a president get involved and affect the game. Well, not so much affect the game as the USA did go on to lose the game 4-1, but to attack football and allow him to play the game. Of course, we saw a similar thing with Cristiano Ronaldo before the World Cup started, and they have said that they're invoking Article 27, and that's the reasoning for it, but there's no justification for it. We're seeing some crazy decisions in football this year. Of course, another one being with Morocco and the AFCON decision, but there's been a foul here. Koné's been brought down. El Ainaoui, the two Roma centre mids battling it out. Another battle in the middle of the park today. And Koné, he will be hot property going into the summer transfer window. As we look back at the save from Bono, of course, that save from Kylian Mbappe, and that save again from Desiree Doué, who is now on the ball, looking to take on Achraf Hakimi. The ball back with Luca Digne, who gets it out to William Saliba, and they're looking to switch that play over onto that right-hand side where Ousmane Dembele lingers. But now, here's Michael Elise. He's come short to pick up the ball. He's done well to keep it in the Moroccan penalty box as it's just bundling everywhere, but it's cleared out once again as Morocco looking to stage yet another counter. Brahim Diaz has been brought down, and the foul has been given this time by the Argentine referee. And there was some talk of some more refereeing controversy going into this game, Nick, with all Argentinian officials. How much do you think that actually affects football? Of course, Argentina and France played in that 2022 World Cup. They had that great game in 2018. Do you think they would let their national bias affect the game, or do you think it's lunacy?
I generally don't really know. I think people are being led to believe, because I think people are led to believe because that's what people say. I mean, people have actually accused FIFA of rigging the game between Argentina and Egypt, and FIFA ultimately had to speak out afterwards.
Well, it's been a World Cup with plenty of controversy, but also plenty of goals, plenty of games, more games and goals than any other tournament, of course. As Morocco look to get an all-important one here as they stage a counter-attack. Ball out on this left-hand side now. Salahadini looking to get the ball in, but it's cleared. And the ball comes back in by Morocco, but not into the path of anyone as Salahadini returns back to the left-back spot. And it'll be a French goal kick as we're approaching the 40th minute mark here, still goalless at the Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. You are listening to us live on the Commentary Hub. My name is Alex Peters. Alongside me is Nicholas Jones. Please please subscribe if you haven't already. Helps out the channel massively. As France now have the ball on this right-hand side with Jules Koundé. And again, just moving it left to right so far, France. They're being a bit more patient in possession. They've pressed really well in this first half. They've got at the Moroccan back line. They put them under pressure a couple of times, but when they had their best opportunity of the game with Kylian Mbappe's penalty, they were unable to take it, and the scoreline still remains 0-0 here. But the ball with Mazraoui, who gave away that penalty, of course, manages to find Talbi. Again, just gets that ball back out wide to Salahadini. And Morocco now enjoying their own spell of sustained press possession. And here is Bouhaddi on the ball. It's a Diop now. El Khanous, who's come back out wide. Yeah, and coming out wide once again, and it could possibly be a foul, but I think a free kick has been given. El Ainaoui being brought down. As we come to the end of this first half, and I think the scoreline reflects the game. Of course, France having the best opportunity with the Kylian Mbappe penalty, but it was a weak penalty. It was a penalty that wasn't deserving of taking the lead in this game, that is embroiled in so much history when you think about the international context of the game. You know, it's one of the most emotionally charged fixtures in global football. Between 4 to 5 million people of Moroccan origin or descent live in France. So that's approximately 7% of the population. You know, in 2022, when the semi-final with Qatar, it created scenes of extraordinary emotion across French cities. In Paris Avenue de Champs Elysees, both sets of supporters mingled before the game, and after France's 2-0 win, police had to use tear gas in disturbances involving Moroccan fans in multiple French cities. So that shows you the emotion in this game and just how much it means to the French and Moroccan people. And we're coming to the end of this first half now, with the game finally balanced going into the second. Morocco, although they've been under the cosh at times, they'll be more than happy not to concede to the French so far, Nick.
Yes, that's right. And I actually didn't know about the sort of French connection. So thanks for informing me about that one. But it certainly is emotionally charged, and it's great to see that, and it's great to see so many people enjoying it. Just got a glimpse in the stands of Shakira enjoying herself.
Certainly has. She is synonymous with the World Cup, Shakira, releasing Waka Waka and releasing a song for this tournament. And there's been some conversations, of course, about the Americanization of this World Cup, but going back to what we mentioned about Morocco and France, I think one of the most underrated stories of the World Cup has been the diasporas we've seen, where you've seen so many different nations, you know, draw on different heritages, and these teams that have amassed from different countries. You look at Curacao, they had so many players that were born in the Netherlands. Of course, this Moroccan side have players of French descent, and inversely, the French team have players of Moroccan descent as well. And even the other stories of the Bosnians in the United States, I didn't realize how big of a population Bosnia had in the States. There was some unbelievable videos of them walking through LA, and it's been a tournament which, for all of the controversies, the World Cup has done what the World Cup has done best, and it's highlighted the unity between people. And one of the aspects I've liked the most about it being in America is the way that you've seen the fans mix in with one another. Of course, this doesn't happen in England. You wouldn't expect it to. But to see people enjoying and celebrating the beautiful game together, it's what the World Cup's all about, Nick.
It certainly is, and you have to and you have to say it brings people to, and you have to say the way that it brings people together is just absolutely brilliant. I mean, you get that also in other countries that have hosted the World Cup as well. Particularly those that like a bit of atmosphere. I mean, if you remember Brazil 2014, there was almost it was almost like a sort of a carnival party atmosphere.
It really was in the favelas. You saw so many great moments in that 2014 World Cup, and every World Cup brings with it its brilliance. But in Brazil, you just felt like that party carnival atmosphere was there, and that feeling has been somewhat restored here in America as we see 5 minutes added on in this quarterfinal tie, the first quarterfinals of this World Cup, as the French now looking to make an impact down this right-hand side. Here is Ousmane Dembele once again. He just loops the ball in. He's found Desiree Doué. Once again, found Rabiot. Digne with the ball out on this left-hand side now. Desiree Doué, the French looking to take the lead before half-time. This would change. Half-time team talk as Kone fires in a shot, but that is blocked. And it's out to Ousmane Dembele once again on this right-hand side. It's a lovely nutmeg pass there. He's found Michael Elise. Michael Elise looking to get a shot from outside the box. Unable to do so. Morocco are blocked once again. Luca Digne from range hits the crossbar. And arguably their best chance so far in this half, France. Of course, they had the penalty, but that's been the best effort we've seen in this opening 45 minutes, Nick.
Oh, it certainly has. Yes. It certainly has. Yes. Luca Digne from just so far back. How did that not go in?
And for the first time, we saw Bono somewhat beaten. He managed to get a hand to it there, though, but it was just looping over. It's an incredible effort from Luca Digne. There's the ball now.
Yeah.
Go on, Nick.
I was just going to say that Bono might have just got a fraction of a digit on it.
I think you're right. As I was saying it, I saw the replay. So here we are now. There's 3 minutes left of this first half. Here we are, of course, in the Gillette Stadium where the New England Revolution also play in the MLS. As the ball goes out for a Moroccan goal kick, and Desiree Doué not so happy about that. Kime saying that his shirt was also pulled, but it's been a good battle so far between those two, and I think Achraf Hakimi is winning it so far, Nick.
I'd have to say he is as well. He's really stood his ground. He's really stood his ground as the Moroccan captain. And I'd have to say he is certainly beating Doué on pace.
Definitely, he's leading by example there. It may be a different story where if Bradley Barcola is to make an appearance in the second half, but here come Morocco once again, looking to make inroads down on this left-hand side. The ball now in possession of Hakimi. He's fine. Brahim Diaz out on this right-hand side. This comes back to El Al-Naibi. It's patient play, patient build-up play from Morocco here. They're just camped outside of the France penalty box. Hakimi now. And they look like deliberate, purposeful passes here. Oh, shouts of a handball, and it's a free kick that's been given. Adrien Rabiot, the perpetrator, and the Argentinian referee has given Morocco a free kick about 20 yards out here, and what an opportunity.
Oh yes, definitely an opportunity for Morocco to take advantage of that. I'd have to say his arm was. I'd have to say his arm was probably in the wrong place at the wrong time. He might have twitched it. He might have twitched it a little bit in a deliberate position, but whether it was deliberate or not, I'll likely never know.
That we won't know, but we are about to know the outcome of this free kick. Raheem Diaz, Achraf Hakimi on this far right-hand side, about 20 yards. Hakimi running up to the ball, tries the cheeky effort, but it goes wide ultimately. Tried to just bend it around that two-man wall of France. Catch Mike Maignan out, but that effort was never really troubling him, unfortunately, Nick.
No, it certainly wasn't, Alex. I mean, Hakimi, he probably didn't likely know where his bearings were, and he just sent it the wrong way.
He did. It's not what you would expect from the Morocco captain, but that was the last action of this first half, and the score is France 0, Morocco 0 so far. We will come to Nick in a moment for his thoughts on that first half, but I just want to give you a reminder that you're listening to me, Alex Peters, alongside me is Nicholas Jones. You're listening to us live on the Commentary Hub. If you haven't already, please make sure that you subscribe. Please like the video. It helps us out massively. We will be going for a break, but before we go for a break, Nick, what was your verdict on that first half?
What a performance by Morocco, keeping France level all the way through the first half. They've certainly made France work for it. And I have to say that the halftime team talk will be nothing short of encouragement. France, I think, will need a bit more of a. France, I think, will need a bit more tactical team talks during the break to get them through to try and break Morocco down in the second half. But in terms of second half performances, it could go either way.
Certainly can. It's finally balanced here at Gillette Stadium. As we mentioned, we will be back in around 15 minutes for the second half. So make sure you come back, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like the video, and me and Nick will see you soon. Welcome back to the Commentary Hub Live. We have second half action of France versus Morocco. If you missed out on the first half, I'll give you a quick recap of everything that happened. The scoreline is currently 0-0 between these two teams. But we have had an opportunity. We had Kylian Mbappe, who was on 7 goals for the tournament, 19 goals in 19 World Cup games, missing from the penalty spot. He has added to the long list of stutter penalties that have not worked out so far this tournament. But outside of that, it wasn't really too much going on in the first half. There was a Luca Digne shot, which troubled Bono ever so slightly. However, Morocco will be more than happy going into this second half. So welcome back, Nick. And I just wanted to ask you, how do you expect this second half to play out? What do you think the game plans are for both sides?
I think France are going to have to. I think France are going to have to show. I think France are going to have to show a bit more attack. Obviously, Dembele and Mbappe will need to. Obviously, Dembele, Mbappe, and Desiree Doué will have to step up their roles a bit. Morocco and Morocco, if they continue to frustrate France, they could well break down their defence, and we could see the first goal from them.
Certainly could, and it looks like that's been the game plan for Morocco from the first half. They knew that the French were going to press on them, and they were going to be attacking that back line, and they were looking to counter Morocco. They've had a couple opportunities, as we have Ouani speaking to the Moroccans as they get ready to come back out onto the field. France have returned to the pitch, but they know the importance of this Morocco. They are the first African side to reach consecutive quarterfinals, and they could become the first African side to reach consecutive semi-finals. And if they were to do it, they would do it in incredible fashion, beating the same team that knocked them out back in 2022. Hakimi looks animated here as he's coming back out. He looks frustrated with something. However, Morocco are looking to come back out into the second half, ready to attack France. And I'm just looking at the comments here. We have Mike. Thank you for commenting, Mike. Thank you for joining me and Nick. Pleasures to have you here. And anybody else who is watching, please like, please subscribe to the Commentary Hub. It helps us out massively. And they're taking a very long walk here in Morocco as we wait for them to come back out. And just looking at the benches, Nick, I was just wondering, who do you think can change the game for France today?
Well, obviously they may need to bring on the likes of Lacroix and Barcola, and maybe even young Ryan Cherky. He played a huge role in the grueling 1-0 victory over Paraguay in the last round, and he's definitely got the and he definitely has the steel to match his immense flair.
Definitely does. A brilliant, albeit rebellious player, Ryan Cherky, as the French team looking slightly bewildered here as we wait for the Moroccans to come out. They've taken some additional time with their halftime team talk as Achraf Hakimi leads his team out back onto the field. The French team in position, ready and waiting as we are about to get underway here for the second half of this World Cup quarter-final between Morocco and France. The scoreline currently 0-0. And how do you think that penalty miss is going to affect Kylian Mbappe, Nick, affect the French team?
Well, he may well have been rattled after that penalty at first, but he looks calm, he looks composed, but the French supporters must be hoping that it doesn't linger, and Morocco may seemingly want to take advantage.
Certainly will, as we have kickoff here at the second France doing what is commonly referred to as the PSG kickoff. Both teams went for that in this game, and seems to work as France have managed to win a throw-in on this far right-hand side, but the ball back with Upamecano once again as he looks to be more direct here as a long ball is ricocheted off of Kylian Mbappe and out for a Moroccan throw-in as Salah and Nini picks up the ball here on this left-hand side. And once again, it's out for another throw-in. And hoping for a bit more action in this second half, Nick. It was, as you mentioned, the Moroccan defence were resolute, but France unable to break them down. And obviously the penalty miss didn't help. But, you know, France will be expected to move forward, and the Moroccans will be hoping to have a successful counter-attack from it.
Yes, you would expect France to to dust themselves down after after being held. They're actually one of the more consistent sides that we've seen in international tournaments in the past 5-6 years.
They certainly are. As we mentioned before, they were runners-up in 2022, winners in 2018. How far this French team can go in Didier Deschamps' last World Cup remains to be seen. But here are Morocco now with a great opportunity. Here is a counter-attack. Can he find Raheem on this left-hand side? Ball comes down. And Morocco now. Taubi picks up the ball. Koundé looking to stand him up. But El Khanous looking to make inroads here into the box. Ball still with Morocco. Brahim. It's a poor shot. It's a poor effort in the end. And France back in possession now with Luka Dean. As the ball is intercepted by Bouhaddi, the teenager now. And here's Morocco. Once again, just being patient in possession. Not necessarily rushing anything. They rush when they need to. They strike on the counter, the Atlas Lions, and they meander forward, looking to get at this French back line, who obviously are world-class footballers, but players such as Upamecano, they do have an error in them, Nick. And, well, here is an opportunity as the ball is back with Mike Maignan, but that could be a possible route of exploitation or exploitation.
Yes, France have been erratic on quite a few occasions in this game, and Morocco will certainly be using that to play it to their advantage. Like you say, they have been patient, and they've timed things rather well, a bit like England in that sense.
They have. We could speak about that England performance long into the night, but I will not go too off track from the game here, as we have a goal kick for Morocco, played short to Bouhaddi, who passes it on for the ball to be launched long, but Elise now looking to find that pass to unlock this Moroccan back line. But they're defending well so far, Morocco. They're doing everything that they need to do. Of course, that mistake from Mazraoui that led to the penalty in the first half. However, outside of that opportunity, the French really haven't got in, as Kone is down off the ball here, holding his, I believe, his jaw. And France just easing themselves into the second half here. It gives me a good chance to mention that if you are not already subscribed to the Commentary Hub, then please do. My name is Alex Peters. Alongside me is Nicholas Jones. It's an absolute pleasure to be bringing this World Cup quarterfinal to you, and we have many other games on this channel. We have Norway versus England on Saturday as well, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on that, as William Saliba picks up the ball for France now, back into the path of Adrien Rabiot, the AC Milan midfielder. Of course, was of Marseille, and then had that bust up with Jonathan Rowe. That led to him leaving, but he's had a decent season, with the Serie A side. And the ball comes to Kone, who also plays his football in the Serie A, plays with Roma. Finds Elise back to Upamecano. And the second half, very much a continuation of the first half, as France switching the ball from left to right, just looking for that weak point in this Moroccan back line. But it's difficult to find a weak point, Nick, when you're coming up against a side who have gone 19 games unbeaten. France only losing to Côte d'Ivoire in their recent fixtures. However, Morocco have done so well to be so consistent.
Yes, they certainly have. Consistent is definitely the word. I mean, okay, they didn't. Okay, they drew against Brazil in their opening match, but since then they've been very much on a consistent roll, and they're doing and against France they're doing really well.
They definitely are. Mohamed Ouabi will be more than happy with his side's performance so far, as Morocco look to have won themselves a corner here. So another opportunity for them to get a goal, which would be historic for African football. Could they become the first African side to reach that elusive World Cup final here, as they have two men standing over the corner. They've played it short. Ball back with Hakimi now on this left-hand side, looking to get it into the area. Back to El Khanous. El Khanous just stepping over the defender, but he can't beat his first man, and it's well defended once again by France as they look to get possession of the ball, but it's launched all the way out for a goal kick from Mike Maignan. And there's a sense of urgency with Mike Maignan and the way he's getting the game restarted. That's the second time now that he's immediately put the ball down and just passed it into play. And do you think that's a sign of how this French team feels, Nick? Do you think there's a sense of frustration burdening in, just like there was against Paraguay?
I would have to say so. I would have to agree with you, Alex. Yes, if anything, France are starting to play with a bit more urgency, and that urgency could well lead to them scoring that all-important first goal.
Certainly could, as Ousmane Dembele looks to make that happen. Here's Desiree Doué now, as the ball bundles around in that Moroccan penalty area, but the ball, it comes back from Morocco, and here's another opportunity to counter that pace on the left-hand side as Talbi takes on Upamecano. Upamecano, credit where credit's due. He stood up his man, and he defended well, and he stifled that counter-attack against Morocco. And Talbi did well to bring the ball down that left-hand side, Nick, but he couldn't beat Upamecano there.
No, he couldn't. That was a great. No, he couldn't. That was a great run by Talbi. He wasn't afraid of anyone. He just kept on going, and the Moroccan supporters will hope to see more performances like that.
They certainly will. We have Joe in the comments who is saying go Morocco. So some support there. We have Mike, who has brought to light the fact that we did celebrate long into the night the England game. As some of you may hear, my voice is not necessarily tip-top at the moment, but one of the pitfalls of being an England fan at this tournament, and it's a small price to pay for as long as England continue in this tournament. But here is France and Upamecano. Still a pleasure to bring this game to you live on the Commentary Hub. My name is Alex Peters, and alongside me is Nicholas Jones. As France now, they've found Kylian Mbappe. Kone's managed to play it forward to him. He's down. Oh, and it's a brilliant effort by Desiree Doué, but it's straight into the hands of Bono. He does so well to just hold on to that ball there, and there's a lot of power behind that Desiree Doué strike, but it was straight at the keeper.
Yes, very much a straight shot at the keeper, but Bono certainly knew. But Bono certainly was able to track it.
Well, as he watched it well, got down and held on to the ball, which you would think is quintessential of being a modern day goalkeeper, of being able to hold on to the ball, but you'll be surprised with some of the errors you see in the Premier League week in, week out. As here's Luca Digne now, also of the Premier League, Aston Villa, not starting over Theo Hernandez. Elise. Oh, it's a brilliant run. It's Kylian Mbappe. He may have been offside, but the ball flies over. It's a brilliant run from Michael Elise. He does so well to create the opportunity out of nothing. He just turns, runs, glides past Bouhaddi and Kylian Mbappe. He would have been offside, but he slices the ball way over the bar, Nick.
If anything, this is another sign of France's urgency. Elise saw where Mbappe was, but I personally felt that Mbappe kind of knew he was offside and just said, right, I'll divert it.
That's it. He's given a fan in Rosed a souvenir with that effort as it's sailed right over the bar. But here comes France once again. Luca Digne with the ball now. And France, they're making more intentional passes. They're looking to get beyond this Moroccan back line, which is defending with so much vigour. And they're not letting France get past them at the moment. But here's Kylian Mbappe on the left-hand side, set it up against Brahim Diaz, his Real Madrid compatriot. Do them with the ball back down to Upamecano now. Michael Elise once again looking to get beyond him. Bouhaddi, he's not had a good afternoon so far. Been run ragged by the Fantastic Four at the French front line. And here is Desiree Doué now. Once again, he jumps over the challenge as the ball comes in, but it goes out of play. And ultimately, that's another wasted opportunity for France, Nick.
Yes, it certainly is. Morocco doing really well to keep them at bay. Even though Bouhaddi, like you say, has had a poor performance in the World Cup. He has shown his maturity. He's not lost his temper. So good to see him playing professionally.
Certainly is. The temperament of the young teenagers to play in that midfield in a World Cup quarter-final against arguably the tournament favourites, as Koundé has been penalised here for a handball. Morocco have a free kick just on the halfway line. As we're approaching 60th minute, we're nearly 2/3 of the way through this encounter, which, as mentioned in the first half, embroiled in history. The Moroccan-French connection is strong, but only one side can win today. Morocco, of course, will be hoping to do it not only for themselves, but for the history of Africa and to show the progress that they have made in recent years as the ball comes back to Mike Maignan. And France, there's a whole host of reasons that they'll be hoping to do this, but one of the main ones will be Didier Deschamps and his last World Cup. And what can you say about Didier Deschamps and his importance to this tournament, Nick, as he's not only won it as a manager, but he also won it as a player?
Yes, he's not only left a valuable contribution to the World Cup, but also to football in France and indeed Europe as a whole. Need I remind you, in 2018, he was the third player and manager to win the World Cup as a player as well, and that was after Zagallo and Beckenbauer.
I'm very glad you told me who the other two were there, because a chance evaded me, but a chance for Kylian Mbappe! And he has just flipped this game on its head. The talisman of this French national team stands up once again. There are Moroccan protests, but Kylian Mbappe with a brilliant finish from outside of the box. He opens his body and he puts it past the keeper. The Moroccan players are furious, but what an effort from Mbappe, Nick.
What a goal from Mbappe. That urgency from France has paid off. And if France continue to play with that urgency, they could well well go on to win this game. It'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see what the protestations from the Morocco players lead to, because goal protestations from the away teams have often led to VAR in the past.
Certainly has. We've seen some controversial decisions so far at this World Cup, but one thing I'm sure of is that was an absolutely incredible finish from Kylian Mbappe. The way he uses the defender to screen the goalkeeper and bend the ball where Bono can't reach it. It's a brilliant play from France. A goal has been given. Kylian Mbappe celebrates. That's his 20th World Cup goal in 20 World Cup games. An unbelievable feat. Something that has never been done before, and France have taken charge of this quarter-final, Nick. There are substitutions for Morocco. Rahimi and Amrabat are coming on, but do you think that's going to be enough?
Part of me says yes, part of me says no. Because France could well go on another second. They have done that before, even though they haven't needed to. But for Morocco to get these substitutes on, that is definitely the crucial time for them.
It certainly is. Nuabi wasted no time in making the changes there. Rahimi, who got the third against Canada, he's on. Softan Amrabat is on in place of Bouhaddi, and that could possibly change the game for Morocco here. But when you talk about changing the game, there was only going to be one player to do so. Kylian Mbappe, who's currently down off the pitch at the moment, holding his nose. He's asking for the game to be stopped. He, of course, broke his nose in the last tournament, so he won't be hoping for a repeat of the same, and neither will Morocco. They've been in this position before, 1-0 down against France, albeit it was much earlier in that semi-final in 2022. But here come France once again, looking to add to Morocco's pain, and that is a nasty challenge from Mr. Diop, and he's got to receive a card here. He's absolutely flown in on Kylian Mbappe there, and I need to see a replay of that, Nick, but that looks reckless. That was just absolutely terrible from Issa Diop to charge in like that, and looking at Kylian Mbappe on the ground, that was very painful. He obviously was going for the ball. He just charged into him, and in no way did he make any contact with the ball whatsoever. Certainly didn't. If that was any higher on Kylian Mbappe's leg, that could have been nasty for Issa Diop. But he also made that foul on Mbappe previously, so a yellow card for Diop. He will miss the next game if Morocco are able to start comeback here. But here come France, who are looking to better the score and double their lead as it goes out for a throw-in on the far left-hand side. And the game feels like it's coming alive now, Nick. It feels like that Kylian Mbappe goal has changed the game plan for both sides. It certainly has. It certainly has, and I'm very sure that France will go on to at least get another goal. And looking at Kylian Mbappe, his nose appears to be relatively intact, so he's okay. And there will be French listeners rejoicing all over the world hearing that news, as Kylian Mbappe now on 8 goals for this tournament. But surprisingly enough, that doesn't make him the outright leader. It would have done in so many of the World Cups previous. However, this World Cup feels different. It feels like all the star players have come to play, as France look like the star team at the moment. Here's Kone now on the ball. Lovely turn back as Elise carelessly tries a back heel, and he's dispossessed here, but there was a careless punt forward as the ball goes out of play by Rahimi, and that could just be him working himself into the game, Nick.
Yes, yes, it certainly is. It certainly could well be a sign that he is trying to work Morocco into it. But Morocco, I feel, still don't seem to have recovered from that shot finished by Mbappe. Nobody saw it coming.
And nobody saw Ousmane Dembele making it 2 for France here as the French players all go to Didier Deschamps to celebrate. The team are together and France are dismantling Morocco in this second half. Ousmane Dembele making the most of an opportunity, and this Moroccan side are falling apart in this second half, Nick.
That will do it, I'm sure, for France. Ousmane Dembele, he definitely scored. He definitely placed the ball in when he had the right time. He has been eyed by Real Madrid, who want to bring him away from Paris Saint-Germain. So the French champions will need to do all in their power to try and keep him on.
They certainly will. The Ballon d'Or winner running direct at Mazraoui there. And the truth be told, it's not the best finish in the world. It's a poor hand by Bono, who has been so important for this Moroccan side. He saved the penalty in the first half. However, he's unable to push Ousmane Dembele's shot outside of the goal. And that leads to his 5th World Cup goal for Ousmane Dembele. France are 2-0 up. That's 16 goals to the tournament. Kylian Mbappe on 8. This French side, they look like they're going to be very hard to beat, Nick.
They certainly are. They certainly are. I was watching their round of 32 match against Sweden, where they completely demolished them 3-0. And I do remember hearing someone saying, I do remember hearing someone say that nobody is going to. I do remember hearing someone say that no one can try and break down France the way they've been playing. And we have now just gone into our hydration break.
That we have, aptly timed. But you're right, just to go back to that France performance against Sweden. Sweden were a non-factor in that game. The attacking brilliance of that front four. And as we mentioned, they're interchangeable. And you look at the French bench, not that they may really need to call on anybody today, but yeah, Rayan Cherki, who I personally believe is a generational talent. He makes people love watching football again. Then, of course, you have players such as Akalouche, who is getting a lot of interest by PSG. Looks like he could go there in the summer. But then you still have the attacking prowess of players such as Marcus Thuram, Jean-Philippe Mateta, and, of course, Bradley Barcola, also a PSG. But then the players on the pitch, Nick, you look at them, you look at the brilliance of Desiree Doué, you look at the creativity of Michael Elise, the dynamism of Ousmane Dembele, and then the otherworldly qualities of Kylian Mbappe. So who beats this side in world football? That's what I want to know, Nick.
There is no one like France in the World Cup.
There certainly isn't. Just a chance to remind you, of course, this game is being presented to you by myself, Alex Peters. Alongside me is Nicholas Jones. You are listening to us live on the Commentary Hub. Please please subscribe so you can see all of our upcoming games. Our next fixture is Norway versus England on Saturday at 10 p.m. We will be bringing that live to you on the Commentary Hub as we wait for the game to be restarted. And in the last 10 minutes, the game has been flipped on its head. Morocco did well to defend. They've done well to shut France out up until this moment. But when you have Kylian Mbappe, when you have Ousmane Dembele, and when you have the creativity of Michael Elise, you cannot stop them. They will keep going until they get the victory. And the scoreline reads all too familiar for Morocco as France, as they did in 2022, are leading 2-0 here as we have the first French substitution of the game. And Kone, is coming off for Warren Zaire Emery. So just to look at the comments, Mike, who is confidently believing that England beat France. And you know what? I believe it too. So he will be covering that game with Dan on Saturday. Let's hope so. It'll be great to listen. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you tune in so you don't miss it as we look for the game to be restarted here. So France 2, Morocco 0, 70 minutes, Nick. How are Morocco going to possibly get back into this?
I can't see them getting back into it. If truth be told, France, they're just on a roll. I mean, they've won every single match so far in the World Cup, and I think it's just going to stay that way.
They truly have. They've dominated in every game they've been a part of. Of course, that Paraguay game is met with an asterisk above it, but Paraguay, they weren't there to play football. Whereas Morocco, they've looked to counter, they've looked to have several opportunities. Some brilliant play once again by Achraf Hakimi now as he charges down the right-hand side for the Atlas Lions, looking to impact the game in any way possible. He wins a throw-in in the French half. Anything will do for Morocco at this point. They still have time to make an impact. We saw what Argentina did from the 75th minute onwards, and they didn't even need extra time. They won that game in 90 minutes. So given the unexpectedness and craziness of this World Cup, Morocco will be hoping for a similar miracle. But going back to the idiosyncrasies of this French team, there is no other side in Europe that have a fearsome front four like they do. Of course, you look at England, the Kane and Bellingham show. They are the only two players who have scored for England so far at this tournament. And then you look at the other side. Spain look like they haven't really got to fifth gear or out of any gear yet. They had that performance against Austria, but they've not looked convincing. They've not looked like the Spain of Euro 2024. Lamau has his injuries, of course. However, Argentina have also scraped through their last two games, 3-2 victories over Egypt and Cape Verde. So when you look at France and you look the way they have dominated all of their games, I really struggle to see how anybody beats them, Nick. But World Cup is crazy. You never know what can happen.
That's right. I mean, that's right. And throughout the tournament this year, what with all those shock goals and victories and points and things like that, the last time you could have played out anything like that would be if you were a kid on your computer game, like 7-8 years ago, or if you were playing FIFA. But now it's like it's the computer game for real.
Certainly is. We're coming out of the most computer game era with Ronaldo and Messi, two players who did not feel real. And we're now moving into the next generation of dominance from Erling Haaland, Kylian Mbappe, players such as Vinny Jr., Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham. We're seeing all of these players come through as we have two more substitutions for Morocco. El Ardi and Yassine have both come onto the pitch, and I believe that was for Salah Eddini and Brahim Diaz. But here come France, looking to add to the scoreline, and I feel like this is what makes this French team so good, Nick. They're not happy to take the lead and protect it. They want to go out, they want to dominate teams, and they want to win by 4 or 5 goals.
Well, they're certainly not resting on their laurels, that's for sure.
Not at all, as Desiree Doué wins a foul here. And we spoke about that urgency in the first half, or the start of the second half, sorry. Mike Maignan, he was just getting the ball back into play a lot quicker. He wasn't taking his time on the ball, whereas Morocco, the opportunities that they've had to slow the play down, they've certainly taken, as Upamecano brings the ball back into play here. Out to Luca Digne, who's looking to bring that ball forward once again. And it's why this French side have scored 16 goals in 7 games so far at this tournament, because their willingness to attack, their willingness to go that extra mile and secure the victory and put it in doubt of the opposition has been unparalleled so far at this World Cup. They've really made an effort, Nick, of ensuring that no team can even get near them.
Absolutely. France, France, they're just ploughing through like a tank, or like the cavalry on a charge.
They certainly are. They are quieting in the roaring Atlas Lions so far in this game. They've had a few counters, but no real opportunities in the final for Morocco. They've done well so far in the middle of the park, Kone and Rabiot. Rabiot obviously coming off for Zaire Emery not too long ago, as Kylian Mbappe has won another foul here. We'll just wait for the play to be restarted. So 76 minutes on the clock. The score now is France 2, Morocco 0, as it looks like Jean-Philippe Mateta is looking to come onto the pitch, and Kylian Mbappe still down. There's just some concerns of an injury here as Elise has come over, but fortunately the French captain is back to his feet. Looks like he's still in some discomfort there though, so whether or not they'll be looking to bring on Mateta as a precaution, but whether or not you could take a precaution in a World Cup quarter-final, Nick, I'm not too sure, but it looks like he's coming off the pitch here.
Yes, it does look like he is. I mean, and understandably so. They need because of the amount of fouls he's had, they may well need to rest him before semi-finals, and you can see him walking around the stadium, waving to the fans. Just goes to show what a valuable contribution he's made to football in his home country.
It certainly does. He's come off the pitch here, so Barcola and Mateta on, and Mbappe and Doué off, but it's good to see he was walking, smiling and waving as he came off the pitch there. So Kylian Mbappe, Didier Deschamps and the entirety of France, truth be told, will be hoping that that injury is not too serious. So Sofiane Amrabat gets the ball back into play here. And Morocco now with possession in their own half. It's not where they want the ball to be. He's managed to move it forward now. Sofiane Amrabat. And France now looking to counter once again, and every time Michael Elise picks that ball up in the middle of the park, he looks so dangerous, and the ball comes into Mateta, who nearly had an opportunity with his very first touch. Now that would have been something, but Morocco looking to get the ball back as trying to win a foul that they have, and that would have been quite the start for Mateta if he had managed to get a goal there, Nick.
Yes, that's right. That would have also been his first goal at international level, and he certainly proved his worth at club level. He won the FA Cup and the Europa Conference League with Crystal Palace.
He certainly did. An incredible season for Jean-Philippe Mateta. Of course, in January there were rumours of a move away, but he was able to patch things up with the club and win the trophies that he did last season. Of course, Maxime Lacroix, also of Crystal Palace, also made the French squad, and that just charts the progress of the South London club. But focusing on the game once again, here's Morocco with an opportunity. France win the ball back, and just a nice bit of composure there in the middle of the park as France looking to stage yet another counter-attack. Ball back with Elise now. Created so many opportunities. Bradley Barcola, can he find Mateta? He cannot, but it looks like it'll be a France corner, possibly. And as the camera pans back to Kylian Mbappe by bench end. And France, regardless who's a part of that front four, they continuously look so dangerous as Dembele kicks this corner into touch. Plays it short once again to Ousmane Dembele. We'll play forward here now. Zaire Emery. Adrien Rabiot. Ball back out wide. Out onto his left-hand side. Barcola, Mateta. He rose high, unable to get a real connection, but it looks like that first international goal might be coming some point soon, Nick.
It certainly might. Jean-Philippe Matassa, he knew where the ball was. He just went for it.
That's it. That's all you can do as a striker. That attacking intelligence, which we have seen on show so far at this tournament. We have Messi and Mbappe both on 8 goals. Erling Haaland on 7 goals too. It's been the tournament for attackers as much as it's been for defenders. We've seen some brilliant defensive performances, not only with the back four, but with the goalkeepers too. Been some great stories, of course, with the Cape Verde goalkeeper, Vizinha. And here is a Moroccan throw-in the French half. Talbi's coming over just to pick the ball up here. It's 81 minutes on the clock. As we mentioned, France 2, Morocco 0. Been a strong second half performance here from the French, as Morocco looking to get down on this left-hand side, and it looks like a goal kick has been awarded and no foul has been given.
That's very sensible. That's very sensible in my view. Just a water goal kick. No mucking about with fouls. No disputes. No arguments. Just go straight to a goal kick.
I thought was the case, but a Moroccan free kick was awarded in the end. The referee's hand actions confusing both me and Nick, but it's all been adjusted as the free kick was headed back out. Hakimi does have possession once again on this left-hand side, looking to whip the ball in. The ball's now with El Khanous, but it looks like a free kick has been given for a foul on Hakimi by Adrien Rabiot, and it looks like that may be the aim of the game for France now. Nick, they'll be looking to slow the game down with tackles, fouls, the dark arts, as some would say.
Let's just hope they don't. Well, let's just hope they don't turn too dark. Otherwise, the Galactic Empire will take interest.
It certainly might. We've seen some crazy things at this World Cup. That would be crazy. It was a crazy effort from, I believe, El Khanous, or Unani, apologies. It was a brilliant driven shot from range, making Magnon come down to his side as Unani once again trying to make inroads, and he's won a corner here, I believe. And this was similar to the game against Canada. He just shifted it up a gear, he turned a screw, and suddenly he was unplayable for the Canadians. And Morocco will be hoping for a similar performance from not only him, but Rahimi as well, who also scored in that last game, Nick.
Yes, absolutely. Unai and Rahimi have definitely been the standout players for Morocco. So whether they're able to take advantage from anything regarding this corner, I don't know.
I certainly will be hoping so as we approach the 84th minute here. Hakimi into the side netting. It was a great ball whipped in, and that could have gone anywhere, and as it crashed into the side net. It's a great opportunity there for Morocco. Arguably the best of this second half, as another substitution is made as Sabai comes on for Talbi. Talbi has been inconsequential in this second half. Sabai will be looking to make more of an impact here, as shots of the Moroccan fans are shown on the TV, and that despair, that gloom for all they have achieved. As we mentioned at the start of the show, their first African side to consecutively appear in quarterfinals. They have had the misfortune of meeting France in both of the last 2 World Cups. And this French side, who have made the last 2 finals in the World Cups, just look unplayable at the moment. They look like they could beat anybody. And Morocco, who have also been unbeaten up until this point, look like they may fall short today as the ball comes back out to Sabai out on this left-hand side. But Mike Magnon claims comfortably. The ball comes back out wide. And France looking to add a third here now. It's a brilliant ball. Elise lets it run. Dembele had the right idea, or Elise, sorry, but he couldn't just get the bend on it. And we will soon be coming to Nick for his man of the match. But first, we'll wait for the game to be restarted here by Morocco. And even if their tournament is to end here, Nick, as I was mentioning, they have so much to be proud of. They've changed African history, even at this tournament, by this consecutive appearance as Jules Koundé comes off the pitch and he's replaced by Malo Gusto, who's entering the fray. But this exit to France and the exit to France in the last tournament, it shouldn't define this Moroccan side, Nick, as they have so much to be proud of.
Yes, yes, they certainly have, and going out at this stage is certainly no disgrace to them. I have a feeling they're just going to keep on improving, and forgive me for sounding a bit too brash for saying this, but their time will come. We don't know where, we don't know when, but I feel sure that Morocco's time to win the World Cup will come.
A bold but justified take from Nick there, as they have showed great progress. But France looking to widen the scoreline. It's a great save by Bono in the end, a shot by Bradley Barcola. And Morocco, of course, they are co-hosting the next tournament of the World Cup alongside Spain and Portugal. And they are finding that consistency that the European sides so often find at this tournament. You know, they got to the semi-finals in the last tournament, the first African side ever to do so. And they've now reached the quarters again. And as mentioned, they're just unfortunate to have met France on both occasions. But here's a French corner after the subsequent Bradley Barcola shot. Mateta gets his head to it, but that was never going near the goal as it stretches wide. And Bono looks to get the game restarted here. So, as mentioned, we will be coming to Nick for his player of the match in just a moment. As we see if Morocco can't make anything here. So Mazraoui passes the ball back out to Diop. And as mentioned at the start of the show, what this will mean to Didier Deschamps, another semi-final. So of his 3 World Cup appearances with France as a manager, every single one of them has ended up with at least a semi-final if the scoreline remains the same here at the Gillette Stadium in Massachusetts. And in light of his recent bereavement, Nick, losing his mother that second game of the tournament, missing the game against Norway, of course, it would mean so much, not only to him, but to the French squad.
It certainly would. Deschamps has certainly been a talisman in the management side for France. He introduced us to Kylian Mbappe and so many other young players that came through, and France and Europe will certainly have a lot to be thankful for.
They certainly will, as you mentioned, introducing us to Kylian Mbappe on the world stage. What a tournament that was for the then teenager back in 2018. He lamented his greatness status with that performance in the World Cup final, which ultimately ended in a loss, but a hat-trick for Kylian Mbappe, the first player to do that since Sir Geoff Hurst for England in 1966. I've just seen a great comment from producer Russ, who says that it's been a beautiful day for France today, in light of the Moroccan goalkeeper, of course, being called Bono. And I don't think the Moroccan fans will be too happy with that. However, this Has been a great game, or a great second half at least. It's been two sides, two great footballing sides, packed with quality, both looking to exact revenge on one another in different forms. However, France look like they may be victorious once again as we have 6 minutes here. Nick, I'm going to come to you for your man of the match for today. Who do you think has been the player of the match?
No question, it's got to be Kylian Mbappe because of his record equaling goal, and also he's in the lead for the race for the Golden Boot. He is ahead. He is ahead, but only because he has more assists. I reckon he could go all the way and win the Golden Boots and even top the World Cup goal records. I really do think he can.
Certainly can. He's now equalled Lionel Messi, both at this tournament and both in World Cup goals, of course. Here's Morocco, though, as the clock crosses 91 minutes. We have 6 minutes added on. Luca Digne clears, and France will be looking to get the ball out of the area, out of their half, and away from their goal for the remaining 5 minutes, as they look like they are on the periphery of another semi-final, as the ball comes in for Assab, looking for a Moroccan head, but he doesn't find it, as the ball is once again cleared. Here's Morocco now. Is it Unani? Ball goes out wide. Achraf Hakimi looking to get the ball in. He does, but it's cleared once again. And they look untepid. They look unfazed. They look unperturbed. This French side, as they are growing in confidence with every game. What looks like it may be another clean sheet too. Only 3 goals conceded so far at this tournament. For all of their attacking prowess, they have been defensively astute when needed and called upon. Those errors of Upamecano look like they are behind him, and this French back line is becoming more and more formidable with every game. But here they are attacking now as Adrien Rabiot looks to get the ball forward. He finds Mateta, but too much pace on the ball. He's unable to control it, and the ball is now back in Moroccan possession. And do you feel like Morocco will be disappointed with their performance today, or are they coming up against a side that's simply too good, Nick?
I think it'll be a mixture of both, because they did hold France in the first half, but once France just got in front, you put it rightly, they fell apart. But they are still showing that in years to come they could well be a force to be reckoned with. In fact, they are a force to be reckoned with, as they have proven during the last 2 World Cups.
They certainly have, and you just look at the squad. There are so many young players coming through. You look at Bouhaddi, who obviously didn't have the best game today, but there's Taoubi. There's other players as well coming through, as Mateta looks to finish the game. It's a great save once again by Bono. He's been unlucky, Mateta, since coming onto the pitch. He should really have a goal. But Morocco now looking for a consolation, or even possibly the start of an incredible comeback. But just to mention as well, Saibari, I believe, who's not played in the game today. They've missed him massively, that focal point in the track. He is only 22, so he surely will have another opportunity to make a mark at the World Cup. He's recently joined Bayern Munich, so his career and other Moroccan players are sure to go from strength to strength in light of this tournament, Nick.
Yes, they're certainly starting to bloom, given that so many of them won the Under-20 World Cup in 2025. So I think for them, this year's World Cup has definitely been to do with gaining experience on the senior international stage, and I think they'll just take it, and I just think they'll take it with them going forward in their careers.
Certainly will. As mentioned, the next World Cup in 2030, also in Morocco. However, it's a real shame to see the way that they are going out, because when you look at it, there was only 6 minutes between Kylian Mbappe's first and Ousmane Dembele's second. And outside of those 6 minutes, this Moroccan side, they have defended well. They have done what they've needed to against this French attack. But those 2 lapses in concentration, it was some brilliant play from the French, especially for the second goal. That's what led to the 2 goals. And that's what's ultimately led to Morocco's exit as we entered the last minute here, Nick.
Yes, they certainly were. Those 2 goals were those 2 goals by France were Morocco's downfall, but they shouldn't be too disappointed. Many of the Moroccan players, or at least some of them, do actually ply their trade in Europe, so we will be seeing more of them.
We certainly will, as it looks like the last play of this game. On the way, Zaya Emery is able to find Bradley Barcola, the PSG players linking up as Michael Elise tries a finessed effort. But the French celebrate. Kylian Mbappe, Ousmane Dembele, Didier Deschamps, and this formidable French side that refused to quit as they march into another semi-final. We will come to Nick for his thoughts on the second half and the game overall. But Kylian Mbappe, once again, the main talking point. When isn't he the main talking point? Either if it's on or off the pitch, he does his talking on both. Another brilliant goal today. And that goal, outside of its individual brilliance, puts him level with Lionel Messi on 8 goals and 20 World Cup goals in 20 games. Heartbreak for Morocco. Achraf Hakimi and the players will be disappointed, but this African side have so much to be proud of. They've come so far in the last few years, and they will continue to go from strength to strength. But Nick, what were your thoughts on that second half, and what were your views on the game as a whole?
Definitely, we definitely saw what Kylian Mbappe. We definitely saw one of the trademark goals from Kylian Mbappe. He's got this really big smile on his face. Hardly surprising, given that he has equalled Messi's record, but also take nothing away from Ousmane Dembele. He scored that wonderful second as well. But Morocco, you have to give some credit to them. They held France throughout the first half. France might have just taken the advice from Didier Deschamps to heart through in the second half. They showed their urgency, and that was just too great for Morocco. But for them to go out the quarterfinal is something to be proud of. They will be back, and they will certainly improve throughout the next. And I feel they will certainly improve over the next few World Cups. That's for sure. But this should be an inspiration to other African nations: Senegal, Egypt, DR Congo, and so on and so forth. So the future for African football, and indeed the World Cup, is bright. And I'm just so excited to see what these countries will do going forward in the tournaments to come.
I couldn't agree more, Nick. Beautifully put, and a beautiful way to end our show live here on the Commentary Hub. My name is Alex Peters. Alongside me today has been Nicholas Jones. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing you this show. And just before we go, let me remind you what else we have on the Commentary Hub. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like this video, as it helps us out massively. We have Norway versus England, a chance for England to make another World Cup semi-final, but they have to overcome the might of Haaland. Can they do it? That remains to be seen. This game will be broadcast live on the Commentary Hub. We have Mike and Dan covering that one, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it and you don't miss any more upcoming games. But as I said, my name is Alex Peters. Alongside me today has been Nicholas Jones. We have very much enjoyed bringing this game to you. France march on to the semi-finals, whereas Morocco go home. And this World Cup continues to deliver. So thank you very much, and we will see you for the next game.